Wow, you know what? This week, our fun flower project comes all the way from Thailand in less than 48 hours, courtesy of Amy's Orchids. These incredible Buffalo Orange Mokara Orchids are going to be part of the beautiful butterfly tree we're going to make today. So, let's get started. Literally, minutes before we started shooting this, our boxes arrived from Thailand from Amy. So I want to show you what's inside those. One of them was this incredible lei. And Amy loves to send me a green lei, and I just adore it. But let's look what else might be inside these boxes and what other surprises we're going to find with Amy's Orchids. Number one, we're always going to look for the Amy's logo. And that's important because that tells you these are the finest orchids on the planet. They're incredible. They're like little movie stars. Let's see, we've got these for our project today. You're also going to notice the Amy's Orchid logo is on all of the sleeves, so you know you're getting an Amy's Orchid. Let's take a look at these Buffalo Orange Mokaras. Now those are incredible. That's an amazing orchid. Look how long those are. That's one of the things that Amy does for you. Each one of these orchids is individually hand-selected and cut. Amy never stores any of her orchids. She goes out and cuts every single day. They cut 7 days a week in Thailand, and you know what? In less than 48 hours, our Amy's boxes arrive to us. The other thing that's important is orchids open at different stages. So our smaller ones at the top are still in bud form, and we need to cut this at the precise moment when this bottom bud is at its premium. She makes sure that there's plenty of length here too. That's another way to test whether you're getting fresh orchids or not. It's important to know that this measurement is usually about 10 inches. Look at that, 10 inches, right on the money. The other thing, they come packaged in water tubes. Now, a lot of people believe that you should just keep it in here, but the sleeves and the tubes are for transportation. We want to take this off, give it a fresh cut, and we can place it in some fresh floral nutrient water. That's the best way to work with these. It's just amazing to see that incredible length. Because one of the things that's important is having the ability to design with a beautiful orchid. And a longer stem, a fresh cut custom stem, allows you to make beautiful arrangements. Now those guys are all safe and sound. The other important thing, we don't want to put these orchids in the cooler or under refrigeration. It's also important that we don't miss them. We'd think that that would be a current thing that we should do or something that could be helpful and beneficial, but at the same time, it's not good for the orchids. We want them to hydrate naturally from drawing the water up their stem in a nice deep bucket of water. The first thing we need to do is create our base. You notice this beautiful viburnum branch that I found along the roadside. I trimmed it because it's a great shape and it works really well. I've placed it into this container. It's a clear cylinder, and I've filled it with artesia foam and put the stick inside there, and also used the adhesive tape over the top to help keep it in place. That's really secure. This isn't real attractive though, so I'm going to have to cover that up. I'm going to do that by placing it inside this cylinder. It's great that the cylinders from Accent Decor fit inside one another. And now we're going to add a little bit of gravel around the outside to conceal all that. Notice that I'm adding it around the outside so that we get a good differentiation between texture. Got a couple different types that I'm using. So you get the idea of how that's going to look. We continue that all the way around the outside, but we're also going to want to cover up this top up here too. And with that, I'm going to use some of the new Riverdale roses from Euphoria. So in this case, we're going to place those guys right down to the base. That conceals that all very nicely. But you notice that I've got a few other areas where I still have a little bit of exposed foam. That's where I'm going to get creative. I'm going to use some of the petals from the Riverdale roses. We're going to push those down inside. The Riverdale's a great coloration for us to use because it matches the Mokara orchids so beautifully. When we break off the roses, they're so nice and tight. We just have to separate those petals just a little bit more. The rose petals are a great product for us to use because they're going to dry naturally too. So they're going to add a great creative texture along with our gravel and the sand that's inside the container. Now that we've finished the base, we're ready to add our orchids into the tree branch itself. So here's our beautiful Buffalo Mokaras. We're simply just going to take our knife and cut those off. So we're cutting the entire stem off so that we've got a nice flush base to glue to. Many times, people talk about Phalaenopsis orchids as being butterfly orchids. In this case, I think the little Mokaras look exactly like a butterfly. So we're going to glue those up into the branch so that we have an entire array of them throughout the entire branch itself. That's going to be our butterfly branch. We're going to use our Oasis cold adhesive again. Always remember that we use cold adhesive on fresh flowers and hot glue on hard goods. It would never be good for us to put that hot glue on the back of one of Amy's beautiful orchids. We're applying our glue again to the back so that we have a good quantity of glue that's going to be on the back side. We don't want these to fall off, especially if we were using this as a patio decoration or something for an outdoor party. We'd want it to be durable and stand up to the wind as well. So we can apply a little bit of glue to all of the orchids that we've cut off. Good quantity on the back of each one. About the size of a dime. Again, because the cold adhesive acts like a rubber cement, after we've applied it to the back of these orchids, we're going to apply it to the tree where we want to place the orchids. We want to give our glue a little bit of time to set up. That's important, but we also don't want to wait too long. It takes about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes for the glue to set up and start to dry. And then when we place the two objects together, it's really going to adhere strongly. If we wait about 5 minutes, we're not going to have any adhesive left. So it's important for us to pick just the right amount of time to do this. You're almost able to feel it when you put the two glues together because they just adhere to one another and stick almost instantly. If it's not ready to stick, just hold on to it for a couple minutes and allow it to set up. You know, as we finish this, it's going to be pretty enough for a Hollywood starlet. It's like we're creating a red carpet, and these guys are the star. They're ready for some paparazzi. See, I told you, Amy's Orchids were showstoppers, worthy of the red carpet. So let's do just a couple more things to make this really fun. I'm going to add just a little ribbon around our base. And again, remember, we're just inserting this great polyester ribbon with a chopstick. That finishes that off nicely. Now, there's some cool things. Acolyte now makes a holder for the top of their votive candles. We actually could take these and hang those little electric candles on our branch to use it as a party light outside. But you know what? This thing reminds me of an evening in Bangkok and how wonderful that would be with maybe a few fireflies floating off the river. So we're going to use Floralytes. We're simply going to pull these little guys and hang the Floralytes up in our special Amy butterfly tree. Imagine if we were using this outside and the wind was blowing those around, how those will just look like flickering little fireflies. They come on this elastic band and they last about 36 hours. Now that's pretty fun. Our beautiful orchids probably feel right at home, just like they're back in Thailand. We learned a lot today, especially about Amy's orchids, how incredible and amazing they are, and how they get to you in less than 48 hours straight from Thailand. We also learned about her biggest secret, that she custom cuts everything and custom packages it just for you. For more information about Amy, go to her website, amysorchids.com. There's great features that'll tell you about each and every variety that she grows. Until then, keep having fun with flowers.